What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview. It is a special one. FA Cup tie against Everton at home on a Thursday night, which is weird, but it will be showing on ITV. So some of you that can't watch the games normally will be able to watch it. As always, I'm joined by Patrick and AJ here to look ahead to a big game for different reasons. Who should start? How important should we take the cup this season? And more. But as always, like and subscribe. We're doing great so far. Thank you to every single one of you for your support. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, thank you. Hopefully we have a massive 2024 as our first game of the 2024 year, not season, of course. And yeah, let's see how we're feeling ahead of it. Look, Patrick, I'm going to start with you because in your name you say play the young players. But before we actually talk about the young players, clearly you're a bit excited about the game based on your name. How important is this game, do you think, for Palace and our season? Despite, the struggles in the league, do you think the cup should be a focus?
I do, obviously, but I don't think the club will take it seriously. I mean, we don't rotate players, so I don't really see how. You know what? The funny thing is, if we want, what are we, 14th, 15th in the league right now? Where are we? 15th?
13th, I think, or 14th, yeah.
Right, I'll double check that. We're 14th in the league, right? So if we were a little higher in the league, I would say perhaps maybe at that point, the club take it more seriously. I don't know how seriously we're going to take the cup. Honestly, I put that in my name as a bit of a joke. I'll leave there all season because I want to see this rest of the year is the kids to play. I want the young players to play. For me, an FA Cup run is a great opportunity for them to play. The Ozo, Adam Arola, France, Ahmed to play. But will it really happen? Probably not. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the same lineup we always get. But is the cup run important? I think from a morale standpoint, I watched your preview, D, that you did with Everton fan. You talk about how, when you win some matches, it gives you kind of a lift all around the club. When they made that quarterfinal run to the League Cup, it was good for them around. They started playing a little better. I think the same thing for us. The more games you play and the more games you win, the better you are. We haven't won a game, before the last game in a while. So I think that cup run would be great for the team. So, yeah.
Yeah. Look, how I see it is there isn't much. Well, the league is still not over yet, and we have been struggling in the league. So even if we remove the aspect of a cup run, I think we need to get wins regardless. Because remember, before the Brentford game, the talk was, is Hodgson going to get sacked? And for me, one win isn't enough. We need to build a bit of momentum. And this is another tie against the struggling side. We'll be talking about Everton as well, that we need to take it seriously. We need to take it seriously because one is an FA Cup tie, and I do want us to progress in the cup. But also, we're not in a position to be throwing games away. So I want to see the strongest lineup out there. I want us to go for it. We're at home. It is a Thursday night. We've got 16 days off after this. This will give the fans a bit of hope. That's what it will do. It will give us a bit of hope. And that's exactly what we need right now because I'll be honest, the club has been as toxic as possible this season. I haven't really seen Palace like this. There's people, of course, getting onto Roy Hodgson, the owners, the players, and we need something to look forward to. And everyone united. How will they be united? For me, the simple answer is a cup run. If we have a cup run, at least if we do lose a league game or draw a league game that was meant to win, we've got something to look forward to, which we haven't had all season long. But for you, AJ, despite where we are in the league, 13th, 14th, do you think we do have this? We have the squad to go for a cup run?
Oh, good question. I think, do we have the squad? Yes, we do. But I don't believe that Roy would use it anyway. It's quite fitting and a very ironic trolling from the man himself saying play the young players because you and I and that same man know that ain't going to be the case anyway. I think the squad on paper, on face value, we have the numbers. But unfortunately, Roy has favourites in that side of things so that I can only pick, you can almost weekly pick the starting 11 subject to one or two players being or maybe not being fit. It'd be nice to see Edouard back in the squad because I do believe he's back to fitness now. Eze and Elise obviously been doing their thing, and at the end of the day, we've got a break for the next couple of weeks after that. So I think that's a great opportunity for us to play a full strength squad against an Everton side that might be Well, they need a bit of momentum themselves, to be fair, because they're going to be essentially chasing us, and they're not a million miles behind us, despite their 10-point gap. So, yeah, I think we do have a good, strong enough squad on paper, but it's down to Roy to actually make that the right decision and pick them. I don't think he will, but at the end of the day, at this point, if there's going to be no changes from a management perspective, which is another story for another day, then, I don't see why we can't get some sort of result out of this one.
Patrick, you've been giving a lot of praise to Roy for his game management as of recently. But of course, younger players is not on the list because you have been frustrated just about that. But for you, in terms of the younger players that you want to see play, who would it be? Because you also said you want a good cup run. So I guess, Elise is young, Eze is young. Who are you exactly talking about that you want to see?
David Ozo, Mateos França, and Nairo Ahamada. Just those three. I mean, I don't think putting those three in the situation of an FA Cup tie at home is a lot of pressure. I'm pretty sure all three played against Man City, didn't they? Played against Man City. Pretty sure they played against Man City. I'm sure that I saw França come on against Chelsea for like 2 seconds at the end. I mean, you can put them in a situation where they can succeed. Again, go back to I want to shout out D on the preview. If you haven't seen it, check it out with the Everton fan. They have injury issues. Ghana Gay won't be playing on Decore is also out. I'm saying so they're going to be. And again, what is the manager going to do? Is he going to go for a cup run? They had a cup run in the League Cup, as AJ just mentioned. They got a 10-point deduction. They blow us in the league. They can't prioritize everything. I mean, their squad isn't much bigger than ours. They had that whole issue with spending money in the transfer market recently. I mean, they got a couple players in, but their squad isn't that much deeper than us. But again, going back to what you were saying about the younger players. Just try Ahamada, try Ozo, and try França. Two of them should start. Maybe Ahamada doesn't start, let's just say. But why Ozo can't play in the DM role over Richards, there's no reason why. And I'll say it again. How much I love Jordan Ayew, he's not around. He's gone to AFCON. Why can't França play left midfield? There's no reason why, D. So for those two to not start would be very frustrating to me. So if you're going to play two young players, play those two. If you want to play Eze or Lise, I'm not for playing Eze because I don't think he's fit. That's fine. AJ mentions Edouard's back. Even I heard a comment today about apparently Roy says now Mateta's the number one striker, which is fine with me, but it just sounds funny coming out of his mouth. But whatever. If Edouard wants to start, no problem. But again, we've got to rotate the squad. You have a squad for a reason. It's not that he's got in the Premier League at all, but he has options. Please use them.
AJ, do you think he will use them options? So let's start with individuals. I think we can all agree that many people do want to see França play. And I think all three of us on here would like to see him play. But the alternative is, of course, Jordan Ayew's gone. It's Jeffrey Schlupp or França. And I said it in the match reaction that it gives me a bit of hope that França came on before Schlupp in a Bournemouth game. Now, do you think that will be the case when Hodgson's thinking about selection as well? Do you think that Hodgson will select França ahead of Jeffrey Schlupp in a game like this?
No, just no. There's no point even fantasizing about it, man. We know Roy's got enough.
Why not?
Man, that's one of them Roy's little Croydon love childs, man. Remember, Roy's been around and he gets around, man. It must be a couple of his love children, man. I think Jeffrey Schlupp must be one of them because but someone's got some explaining to do, bro.
Before Schlupp in the last game,
maybe because Schlupp wasn't really up to it, or maybe he was eating a Big Mac on the bench. I don't know, bro. But it's not normal. It's not normal procedure for Roy to all of a sudden start playing Schlupp in front of anybody, much less a França. But I think in all seriousness, I reckon it will be a situation where he will go with tried and tested. I just feel like in his mind, he's going to sit there and think, oh, okay, I've got a relatively strong squad, barring Ayew out. God knows what's going on with Edouard anyway, but I just don't envision Roy doing it. I'll be the first to put my hands up if he does. But I can't see him doing it. I can't see him dropping any of these players. I think reality of the situation is we kind of just have to ride the Roy train until further notice and kind of get on with it. I mean, I just can't picture him doing it. Unless he's absolutely desperate, he's got no choice. So he's got some kind of weird tactical rethink. And I'm going to be honest, it's just not Roy's MO.
So I have a question, right? If he doesn't want to take the squad for this game, we get knocked out, when's he going to do it? Because for the rest of the season, we're going to be in a relegation battle, right? And we all know relegation battle, he's not going to use kids. If he doesn't use the kids now, he's not going to do it. So we're stuck with the same 11 players that normally play. Maybe Schlupp comes in for Richards every once in a while, or maybe Hughes does, whatever. But we're talking about the same 12 thing play rest of the season. What does that do for us as a club? Let's say rest of the season. I don't understand why, if you don't do it now, when you would actually do it. Because AJ makes a great point. His history shows us he's not going to rotate the squad. He just has never done it. I mean, the Schlupp thing right now, I'm shocked he's not playing. Maybe he's injured. I'm not going to go with the whole Big Mac on the bench. Funny line, by the way, AJ. I like that one. Funny, but I think that was probably the reason why he didn't play, but could be the reason why. But on a serious note, the fact that Schlupp hasn't played lately is kind of interesting, but he's stuck with Richards, despite the fact that he's not a DM. He's stuck with RU again, playing well. Stuck with Elisa. You know what I mean? Hasn't really
has been playing well, in my opinion. I know some people are conflicted about his progressive passes, etc. But I think defensively, I think he's been very good.
Okay, I'll say it again. He's played. Listen, I'm Chris Richards' biggest fan. I watch him for national team. He's not a DM. He's an excellent centre half who can play right back. Forget progressive passing, D. I watch him play. He's like playing actually the third centre half, which is fine. He's very, very defensive. The funny thing, we haven't kept a clean sheet with him at that position, by the way. You notice that, right? As good as he's been playing, we're still giving up goals against Chelsea and whatever. So, but again, it's not a Chris Richards bashing. I just think that we have players that can play that position better than him. One of them happens to be David Ozo. Yes, he's younger, but I'm very surprised he hasn't gone with him. But again, that aside, history shows me he's not going to change it. But if he doesn't do it now, we're never going to see a change. And that bothers me.
So what if he does? So what if he does?
Credit to him.
So if he does, do we get more confidence that he will going forward? Because he has praised França. He has. I can't remember the exact game, but I remember he said that he needed a bit of time bedding it. I think it might be after the City game where he was very positive about França, and he has been coming off the bench, França here and there. But of course, he hasn't started any games. But what if this is like the difference maker? And França has a great game, and then all of a sudden França starts playing games. Would we all of a sudden be happy with Roy? Is that what it comes down to more than results, that he needs to play some of these younger players?
The thing is, right, if he was taking the chances and he was playing these kids and we weren't getting the results, I'd probably be fine with it, or I'd be a lot less rattled about it, to be fair. The thing is, he's being wrong and strong. So he's playing his tried and tested and it's not working. There's no creativity. We're not getting the goals. We are conceding. We are tactically not up to scratch. But if he actually was adventurous, to be honest, I would almost go on record to say that's probably why a part of us loved Vieira at the beginning, because with the new players he brought through the door in Vieira, and he was willing to play kids and bring certain players on and do a little bit unorthodox moves once in a while with certain players coming in and unknown entities coming to the squad. Roy doesn't do that. So the problem I have with that is, if he's doing that and he's trying it, and we're not quite getting a result, because put it this way, if we were in the same position we are now, and we are playing kids and playing some of these younger players and untried and tested players, and it's not working out for him, my argument's out. That just kills off my argument instantly, because straight away, the first thing a lot of the headaches and a lot of the retaliation that you hear from me is, wait, he's not playing this player, he's not playing this player, he's got the squad, he's not playing these kids. Why are we not trying this player? Why are we not trying that player? All of that gets binned off if he was trying these players all season and we were still walking away with the same results, because my argument's dead. But giving certain guys 4-minute cameos, 2-minute cameos, 3-minute cameos, and not getting the results anyway, I'm in that position of negotiation, or not even a position of negotiation. I'm in a position of having a strong argument because he's not even doing that. So, and like I've said before, Roy is a very reactive rather than a proactive manager. He's not going to be 1-0 up against a certain team and all of a sudden try something crazy and put on an Ozo or an Alhamada or a França. He just kind of just makes changes subject to whatever's going on the other bench or subject to the score being too late. It's almost like he kind of just has a switch off mode and just goes, screw it, why not? Just chuck him on. That's a very prehistoric method of management where it's just like, I'll tell you what, a good example. Alex Ferguson used to do that when Man United won the league. When Man United used to win the league back in late 90s, 2000s, you'd often see that he played a bunch of kids and a bunch of youth players to try and just throw him out on there once the league was won, because he knew he had already had the result, so he had nothing to lose. Reality situation is with Palace, we're still losing games anyway, so why would you not just take the risk and throw on some couple kids? Because at the end of the day, it will make it easier for the fans to understand. It'd make it easier for me to understand. Because at that point, I can sit there and even agree with Roy and be like, you know what? He wasn't that good anyway. He's got a point. Or do you know what? This guy's not up to scratch. But then when you're coming out in the media and turn around and saying, France is doing amazing in training. Ozil's been amazing in training. I don't bloody know. Ahmad has been amazing in training. But then you're not even giving him I'm not even seeing these guys warm up half the time. Or I just see them at, you know, Patrick, me and you were at the game. At half time, you can even see by their players, by their attitude and their body language.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just going through the motions because they know he's not going to take a chance on them.
Yep.
So you got to give me something to work with here, man.
This is the opportunity for some of these players to prove themselves as well. But of course, Roy needs to give it, and I do think he will give it. I know what you lot think about France and stuff. I think France will start. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm naive, but I do think France will start. I think this is the perfect setup for him. But then again, I don't know about Hamada. I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if Hamada starts. Ozo, I think he goes as like Franca. In my opinion, Franca there's a better chance of Franca starting than Ozo. There's a better chance of Ozo starting than Hamada. I think he goes in that free order. But
how about Teo? Teo started 2 years ago in the FA Cup. How about him? He played 2 years ago in the FA Cup.
I don't know.
Teo's going on loan, from my understanding. It looks like he's pretty much going to Bristol or something like that. I was reading.
Yeah, so we might discuss them in the Palace News episodes.
No backup.
We're trying to do them daily. So we'll see.
We got Gyro, Patrick. Let him cook.
So if there's any updates, make sure to check out Live Palace News every evening around 9 to 10 p.m. UK time. Join us live for that as well. Funny enough, Patrick, that was a great plug, which I did not expect. But yeah, look, that was a great assist from you.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah,
anytime.
that was a great assist from you. So let's quickly look at Everton as well, because I think this is what makes this game more significant. As Patrick said, the opposition preview is out as well from an Everton perspective. But they don't really have a midfield. They don't have a midfield. They're struggling with numbers. And you know what? In the most recent game, they lost 3-0 against Wolves. They've been struggling as of recently in terms of picking up results as well. And you know what? If we were to lose this game, I just dread the next 2 weeks. Because let's be honest, we've only beaten Brentford. And if we go and lose against Everton once again at home, the same conversations are going to pop up. It's going to be even more toxic because it's a transfer window, so the pressure is going to be on the club even more. So, Patrick, I know we spoke about the importance of the game before, but in terms of pressure on Roy in this game, I know you don't think he'll get sacked, but do you think there is that added pressure despite the Brentford win, that if we don't get a positive result against Everton, we're back to square one?
I think your point about the time between this and the next match is a big deal, and it's a transfer window. But again, he's not going anywhere. I just don't see Parish and the board putting pressure on him to leave based on FA Cup loss. I just don't. I think the league is the most important thing to them. The cup runs are what the fans love. I mean, Parry talks about them sometime, but for the most part, it's all about the fans with the cup runs anyway. I just don't see him being under pressure if we lose. I mean, you're right. It's a game we really should be winning. I mean, they've got to travel down on a Thursday. You're right. They're losing players to AFCON, to injuries. They're struggling to 4 losses in a row, etc. But I just don't see him having pressure. It's a game that we should win. But again, as far as the pressure is concerned, I don't see him being under any pressure until at least past Arsenal. And even then, I just think I'm resigned to him being here the rest of the season. I'm just trying to get D. Just do me a favor, give me a break, man. I'm taking my mind on the fact he's going to be here. Don't stop trying to make me think he might not be here because it's not going to happen. I'm trying to get through that fact. Help me to get through that fact. He's going to be here anyway, but he's going to be here. Let me just deal with that and get to the next 4 months of the season. I'm begging you, bro. I'm begging.
Mm-hmm. So we all agree on a cup run. We all want a cup run despite the struggles in the league. So let's have our predictions for the cup. And not even score predictions. So how far do we reckon we're going in the FA Cup? Look, for me, I want the easiest teams on paper at home. I want us to get as far as possible. And I said this as well off air to Patrick, and I'll say it to you guys here as well. Funny enough, I think if we got to an FA Cup final, out of all the managers that we've had, I think somehow Roy will get the job done. But the problem is getting to the FA Cup final.
I mean,
That's the problem.
I love
I
this
think
guy.
in the
He's so-
FA Cup
he's-
final,
he's-
I think
Oh.
Roy will be the manager to get the job done. And
Oh,
that's me
D.
despite wanting Roy to leave. I just think he'll do it in the cup final. I just don't know why. But the problem is, how on earth are we going to
Love
get to
this
the cup
kid.
final? Give
Love
us
this
easier
kid.
teams so we can progress there.
D, this is
But-
not the hill you want to die on, bro. This is not the hill you want to die on. This is
If
not.
we go
You
to the
do not
cup
want to
final,
attach yourself
we
to that
need
kind of
play
hell,
them
man.
up. But it's early. I don't even need to be talking about cup final so far. But that's what I think. That's what I think. Anyways, let's start off with our predictions then. Look, I don't know how far we'll get. I want to say at least the quarterfinals. That's my prediction. I think we'll at least get to the quarterfinals. Hopefully, we don't get knocked out by Everton because that would be horrible. But AJ, you said you don't want to die on that hill. So what hill are you dying on?
What round are we in now? Third?
Yeah, third round.
He made the 5th round and he's done it.
Fifth round. Patrick?
5th round, we'll get a big boy and it's over.
Okay, we're going past Everton?
No, this is as far as we go. We're not going further this round. I'm not having it. You listen. You can just put all the red and blue hats you want, and I respect both of you. You can say that all you want, and I think the deep thing, the Hudson to the finals comment, might go to history as the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. But no, I'm picking us.
Why? Why do you think it's funny? Don't you see the vision?
Listen,
On
I'll tell you what, right?
Don't
I'll tell you
I
what,
see the
right?
vision. I do not.
If Roy somehow pulls this off, right, I'm that confident, right? I'll buy D his second shirt because I know Patrick bought him the other shirt, right, when he came over.
I did.
D, I'll buy you the next home shirt for next
You
season.
know what I want? Not a home
Hell,
shirt.
I'll
I
even
want
buy
that
Roy.
limited edition shirt. If we're winning the cup, I want that limited edition shirt that Patrick has.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Burgle Patrick? What do you want me to do? Burgle Patrick's house? Because that's the only way you're getting it.
Yeah, well,
D.
I don't know how
You should have said that when. Nah, you should have said that when Patrick was here and that bag was within reach.
Win the cup, you can have this.
If that bag was within reach when Patrick was here, I might have been able to grab it and run because I'm quite lanky and I could do quite a decent sprint. So now it's too late, bro. That's in America, bro. The shipping cost alone would finish me.
All right, cool. I'm getting
I'm coming to the cup final, so I'll hand it to him. What are you talking about?
Oh, all right. So Patrick will give you a shirt. I'll buy you next season's one with Roy on the back as well.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's fine. And AJ, okay, cool. If we get to if we win the cup,
Palace shirt, right? Next season's Palace shirt. FA Cup winners, the FA Cup badge. I'll even get you the Hodgson. What was it? 2024, 24 on the back as well. We'll have that, man. I'll pattern that. That's how confident I think.
I'm excited for this. Hopefully now, Hodgson, don't let me down. Don't let me down because you let me down a few times. I just don't want you to let me down here because I'll just be collecting
just a few times. Just a few times. Okay.
But you know,
the secret is if you expect little, you get everything's a win, isn't it?
That'll be like I don't know. That'll be like the Titanic gone well. Because I just feel like our ship is going down. But if we were to win the cup final, then at least like we just in the last second we got saved and no one got hurt. So yeah, I hopefully Hodgson ends his story like that with a cup final and a win in the cup, and then calls it a day if it was to stay and last that long at Palace. Anyways, but look, let us know how far you think we'll get in this FA Cup. Of course, we're right now in the third round, and hopefully we don't get knocked down in the third round because otherwise our predictions and all of this talking about cup final will be absolutely mudded. All right, cool. Let's wrap this up.
Save me money, Roy. Save me money.
Let's talk. Get us a trophy. I think you'll be over the moon. I don't think you'll care about 40, 50.
I'll pay the money, bro. If we win the FA Cup, I'll pay the money. Don't worry about that.
Exactly. Now let's talk about score predictions. So Patrick, you're not backing the boys, are you? You said you're not going past the third round.
2-1 Everton.
2-1 Everton. All right, cool. I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace.
Keeping it real.
AJ?
Keeping it real.
They've got injuries.
2-0 Palace.
2-0 Palace. All right. So
Elise masterclass.
Apart from Patrick, me and AJ believe that we're going to score 2 goals. I do think Elise is going to be a massive, massive worry for Everton. Of course, he wasn't in the previous game where we lost against them, so that'll be a massive plus. And hopefully Eze turns up as well against the Everton side that are struggling in midfield. But as always, let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comment section down below. We'll be, if you haven't already done so, make sure to check out the opposition preview. We'll be back for a live watch along of the game as well. So look, there's a massive build up to the game. Hopefully Palace don't let us down, and hopefully we go and get the win. But that's it from Patrick, me, AJ, and I. And until next time, up the Palace.